Memories of leaving the arenas with Dad. So Dad was a heel, obviously, and
with heat.
Yeah, and a lot of times he had a lot of heat.
Yeah.
One memory that popped into mind. We actually had left the arena, and we were at a gas station.
Because he always seemed to pick the liquor store in the worst section of town, not that far from the building after he had done something.
Yeah, this is probably my most vivid memory of leaving the arena, or after the matches. So it was that little convenience store next to the Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
And so, anyways, Dad, you, and Mom.
This was in '89. They had just come back from the Charlotte Coliseum.
Yeah. I don't think it was Charlotte Coliseum.
Yeah, it was Charlotte Coliseum because they were. Yeah.
So we didn't go to the matches that way?
No.
Oh, okay. So, anyways, all right. Well,
judging by the heat he had 2 hours after, it's probably a good idea we didn't go.
So,
I know where you're going with this.
So we were in the van.
Yeah.
And you, Mom, Dad, and Kenji go in the convenience store, and this drunk North Carolina, I love North Carolina, but this drunk dude from North Carolina, he pulls up to the front door of the convenience store. You just walk in, and there's like a ramp, I guess like a wheelchair ramp.
Yeah.
And dude, he's just pulls right up, and he's revving his engine, and looking over at me. He's like, and I'm 9 years old, and this guy is like being a tough guy, trying to intimidate.
I can see him right now.
A 9-year-old kid just revving his engine, like saying,
whose son you were. You could tell that.
Yeah, and he was like, "I'm gonna run over your dad," just revving it, and I'm scared to death.
So you remember what he started saying, right?
Well, I just remember I just put on like the most saddest face I could think of, like, please don't run over my dad. And then, so anyways, he stopped revving his engine. And then I remember Dad comes out, and I guess you got something.
Yeah, I came out of the store, Dad, Mom, and Kenji, and the guy is yelling at Dad, "Did the stinger put it on him? Did the stinger put it on him?" And then Dad made a crude remark about the guy's wife.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Did the stinger put it on him?" This guy's supposed to be all like anti-Japanese, and Dad goes, "Well, why don't you buy an American car, you?" And then Kenji goes, "No, that good car, it's Mazda."
Yeah, good car.
And then we got in the car and we drove off. Stuff like that happened all the time. I remember several times where we would leave the Sportatorium, and there was a liquor store. Imagine that in downtown Dallas. There was a liquor store right on the corner, one of 5 liquor stores on the corner of Industrial and Katie's. We left the building, and this happened multiple times, where Dad would say, we'd leave the arena, get in the car, and drive to the liquor store, and Dad said, "I just got to go in for some cigarettes." Yeah. And we would be sitting in the car, and these weren't so much convenience stores as they were liquor stores, which looked more like a place where it'd be like a pawn shop or a bail bonds place. And Dad would be in there, and there'd be a bunch of brothers in there, because the brothers were always the cool ones, like, "Hey, Gary, right on, it's you, brother." And then Dad would get his smokes and his beer, and he'd get in the car, and we'd drive off. So it wasn't until about 5 or 6 weeks ago in 2025 where I've actually been able to pull into a gas station after midnight and don't feel ill at ease. Because I think Dad in a lot of ways did that because he didn't want us to be scared of anything. And then again, I don't think maybe he even, but it's, I can't imagine a guy in today's business. Like, can you imagine some of these newer guys driving, leaving the building and pulling into like a Circle K to get gas and having any type of heat with fans? Yeah. I mean, that's a loss. That's how you could gauge your heat. How angry they were with you when you went to the convenience store afterwards.
You remember, like, this is going to the arena, like, and Dad would they were exiting, and Dad would tell Kabuki to put his...
Yeah, we would be getting the off-ramp to the highway to drive into the city streets to get to the building. Kabuki always had that chainmail mask that he made himself.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't wear face paint driving to the building. I guess you could, but Dad would always say, song, mask. And he would put the mask on, that chainmail thing.
Song for whatever reason.
It was an Ode to Pac song.
Oh, okay.
And he would pull into the building so that way Kabuki would already have the chainmail.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then one time when we did that, we were going into the Charlotte Coliseum, not the new place, but the old place that they stopped working in, like, I think 88. I think it used to be called Independence Hall. This is like '84.
Yeah.
No, 80. No, this was '83 before the first Stargate. He was
Yeah.
working with Jimmy Valiant, who I still believe was Charlie Brown. We drove into the building.
It's the Bojangles Center now, or it used to be the Bojangles
Is it?
Center. Yeah.
Because we drove into the building, and Dad says, "Song, mask." And
Kabuki is something.
Kabuki puts the mask on, and we get out of the car, and I'm like 6 years old, and they used to have, when the people actually believed wrestling because we were protecting it, there would be like going into this arena, there was like this 2 barricades on each side of the building where the wrestlers would go in, and you would walk from the car into the building, and there was like huge barricades on both sides, and I'm like 6, and fans are lunging towards Dad and Kabuki. And so a few of them start throwing stuff, and one's trying to lunge, and I'm 6, and Kabuki has the chucks and goes.
Oh, cool.
They backed right
Yeah.
up, and then we just walked right into the building. But I mean, that was. I mean, passionate fans. I mean, but that's what's lacking in today's business. I mean, probably kids that grow up in the business now are probably far better adjusted than we are because they don't got to go through stuff like that. I mean, but stuff like that happened all the time. And that's why, like Hogan said, when you do that for a living, going bowling on a Saturday night probably just isn't going to do it.
Yeah. Hit that like and subscribe button.